Record. Thank you, Frank, for coming on to In the Built Environment. Super excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to get started by just kind of telling our listeners a little bit about what you do and how you got there.
All right. I am a venue sustainability manager for Live Nation at one of the outdoor venues in Charlotte, the Scala Amphitheater. The I've been there for I've been back in the States for I guess less than a year now. The opportunity came up when my wife and I were moving back to the States. So you know. This opportunity for Live Nation kind of married two things that I love, sustainability and music. So when the opportunity came about, I naturally just hopped on it. So that's how I got into venue sustainability management. Uh, Previously, I was involved in more built environment. I worked in Kigali as a consultant for the Kigali Medical Plaza, where I worked to fold in sustainability initiatives in new construction and renovation for a nonprofit that was funding the project. So two different worlds, but that project really, you know, uh, it really got me into, you know, sustainability in a bigger context, and also ESG as well, ESG guidance and policy because those initiatives really, take care of the people part of sustainability. So I don't know, that project really brought a lot to light in terms of where I wanted to go with sustainability.
Love that. And so you had like that construction project management type background, right? And then now you're working with more of things that have already been built. How's that transition been?
The transition has been it's been seamless actually. I feel like with this project, uh it involves more of, the study of demographics and, just thinking about how people move and how people think throughout an event or throughout multiple live events because we have country shows, and with country shows, you have uh, waste diversion systems that are going to work differently. People are drinking differently. People are consuming things differently. So that you're going to have uh, at the end of your night, at the end of the day, you're going to have different waste metrics. You're going to have different types of waste. So when you go to, or when you have, let's say, um, I don't know, a rock and roll show, you're gonna have more cans or more plastic. So the dynamics of people and demographics really influences what the waste outcomes look like.
That sounds really interesting. Part of what I'm trying to focus my career on is helping people connect through the built environment. And I like venues, especially because it seems like a great place for people to gather. Whereas like
Yeah.
in today's society, a lot of times we're divided and there's like conflict, but it seems like even people that have different like political views or different things like that can gather together around in a venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, would you like to share a little bit about what you find most fulfilling about your work?
What I find most fulfilling is the, I guess the idea that we are doing things and putting systems into place that are going to make things better. We are putting systems into place that are going to conserve resources, improve energy systems, improve sustainability overall, improve the things that affect people. So I think that's probably, you yeah.
Yeah, so kind of knowing that what you're doing is going to improve the lives of the people that come to your venue.
Yeah, yeah. People, that come into the venue, they're gonna have a good time and hopefully, you know, see the signage or see the initiatives going on and maybe they'll leave with something in terms of, okay, maybe I can apply this to my life outside of this show that I just saw. So, I mean, we worked with the Reverb Tour, which uh, they have sustainable initiatives across their uh, tour lineups, and they really encourage sustainable practices from the time you leave your house to the time you leave the venue. So that means you know carpooling or bringing a refillable bottle to a show. Uh, just like the things that you really don't think about when you think
Yeah.
about going to a show. But uh, when you are experiencing a reverb show, you have the opportunity to connect with local community initiatives, and sustainability initiatives, and having that impact and having that interaction during a live event. It really, um, I think it's invaluable because not only do you get to see the artist that you want to see perform, but you also are walking away with education. So
Mhm. I love that. Wow. So that's a Reverb is a performing group that also focuses
uh,
on
they
those
they uh they
groups.
are not a performing group, but I guess I don't know how to best describe it. More of they tour with artists.
Oh, cool.
They sponsor the artists, for lack of a word, and they have riders that are, specifically, um, they're environmentally forward, um, and they really, try to put initiatives in place in each of the tour stops that will, create change, and not just with people, but with the environment as well. Just making sure that they can kind of show that we can do music and have music in live venues from the smallest venue to the greatest venue to the biggest venue in a sustainable manner.
I love that. And I feel like it would just enhance the experience of feeling like you're making a difference and you're enjoying this wonderful music. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your venue in particular, what it's like, what there is there?
Yeah. So the venue that I'm at is the Scala Credit Union Amphitheater, and it's a 5,000 cap uh, capacity amphitheater, all mostly outdoor, and it's in conjunction. It's kind of attached to this place called the Music Factory. So there's two other venues uh, that are kind of attached to it, and then you have like a bigger, I guess, music factory area outside of it with, mixed use residential. Um, and a couple other things in this compound, for lack of a word.
Yeah.
And the sustainability program, it was just kicked off. I guess this is the second iteration of it. It started previously, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out before. But this is my first year with it, and uh, we've seen, we've had a couple of reverb tours, which were awesome. And when I started, the diversion rate was 10%. There wasn't really much in place in terms of haulers and,
Yeah.
recycling programs. So once we were able to bring in, haulers uh to the Scala portion of the amphitheater, I'm sorry, of the property, uh, we were able to, be able to get more of the waste diversion systems in place. So we were able to, start getting the cardboard from merch, and increase the recycling capabilities from concessions. And now we are sitting somewhere around uh, around 51% in terms
Wow,
of
that's
overall
awesome.
diversion. So yeah, it's in terms of, what the venue's like. It's all outdoor, so you don't have, certain aspects to worry about in terms of um, uh, sustainable initiatives. Uh, we, I mean, in terms of overall, Live Nation's goal is to be, zero waste by 2030. Um, and we still have some work to go in terms of logistically figuring out how, we can fold compost into the mix and bring other, decrease our landfill waste. So that's where we're at right now, and it's been a challenge because of, the space, because we share, the amphitheater shares a physical space with the music factory. So if you don't have all the other waste stakeholders on board, you're just kind of the only one on the island trying
Mhm.
to, make change.
Yeah, that can be hard to coordinate with other. Would they be like other tenants in the complex? Is that kind of?
Yeah, basically, yeah, the other tenants, uh, I want to say there's a bar, there's a nightclub, and then, there's two other Live Nation venues, and let's see. Yeah, like a couple restaurants and service businesses. But
You have
if
to also coord. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
uh it would be nice to coordinate with, these other businesses because you know, the if we had all of the waste stakeholders on board, we would be able to increase our overall diversion rate from all businesses, not just the Scala property, not just Live Nation, but we would be able to di increase diversion rates from all of these properties. I mean, in a way that you really, I don't know, wouldn't see in this area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would. It would be a beautiful thing. I mean, but it would take bringing them on and really trying to, you know, uh, it takes work to,
Yeah.
consistently, make sure things are being sorted properly. You have everybody, bought in. So that's basically where we're at right now. Because,
I wonder who is is there like one landlord for all those tenants?
uh, there's, uh, there's one landlord over all of the, music factory tenants.
Hmm.
And, uh, you know, we've engaged with a few. But we haven't had much luck with actually being able to, okay, let's figure out how we can set up a full-scale recycling system,
Yeah.
because right now our diversion program after for each show, it's a pop-up operation, so we set up from from the time the show starts, and then we have to break down after the show starts, so we get things sorted uh, within a day, day and a half, depending on the volume of the show. And then we have to break down because we share the space with, you know, other tenants. And then, you have the aspect of ingress and egress from, the truck drivers and whatnot that bring the equipment into the venue for load in and load out. So it will take some time to figure out all these systems, but I'm hopeful, we can figure something out in terms of bringing other, uh, tenants into the program.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of the hardest things. Like if somebody owns their own building, like say for instance a hospital or like a school. They have the property, they own their own building, and they can basically do whatever they want. So they can make sustainability happen really, really quickly. But then when you have a landlord and several different tenants, I feel like sometimes that's harder because you have to coordinate between lots of different groups. But I'm hopeful that that'll start getting built into leases too. Like I've heard of
Yeah.
lease language that says, hey, like you need to do the following to incorporate sustainability. So I'm hopeful that we'll see changes there too.
Yeah, I think a lot of initiatives, they start from the top. If you have the buy-in from, leadership and buy-in is engaged with, the sustainability initiatives from the beginning, it's easier to have that support in terms of rolling it out to everyone else. Like if we had, the buy-in from the landlord, we can be like, hey, okay, all the bars, like you have, such and such waste. I mean, when I walk past after a show, sometimes you can see the actual waste, and it's,
Yeah.
it's all cardboard, plastics, bottles, aluminum cans, and you just see it sitting there, and it's like, oh, this could all go. This could
Yeah.
all be, sorted properly because we just had this system set up to take it. But, a lot of businesses, in terms of, you know, being able to, turn over for business the next day, they just don't prioritize, recycling or sustainability because they just need those next bottles in so they can operate for the next day.
Yeah, it's like it's work getting the systems in place. But I think once the systems are in place, it's a lot less work, but it's like that first hurdle of
Yeah.
doing. Yeah. Well, what advice would you have for if some of our listeners are interested in either getting into venue management or getting into sustainability in the built environment?
Uh, Advice, I would say, uh, I am a huge proponent of professional development. And I just love learning in general and education. So I, I'm a huge proponent of just, making sure you can, you know, get the certifications and the education and the science behind it. And, a couple of things you pick up along the way in terms of being able to build systems, because working in live events and music is different from working in construction. Uh, and uh, the components of sustainability and how you will use them will be different. I have a lead certification. I have a few I'm sorry, accreditations,
Mhm.
and I'm currently working on the True Waste Advisor uh,
Cool.
certification. So the, they both have underlying similarities, but the waste, the true advisor certification is going to be more, uh, I guess pointed towards what I'm doing currently with
Mm.
live events. Uh, so between professional development and networking, I think those are uh, two great ways to get started. Going to Greenbuild, and going to certain, conferences, Climate Week. I wish I would have been able to go to Climate Week, but it wasn't in the cards for me this year. But I will be going to Greenbuild. I went 2 years ago and had an amazing time, met some great people. Um, and yeah, I think networking is uh, really a big part of the puzzle because you get to meet other people and learn, their stories in sustainability. And you get to be, I don't know, a part of a bigger uh, family of people that are working towards, this cause.
Yeah, I love that. Do you want to share at all about your time abroad? What you were doing abroad and how that's
Oh,
impacted how you go about your job now?
yeah. So we were abroad for 10 years overall.
Wow.
My wife and I, we were both in education initially. We lived in Qatar for 5 years. We lived in South Africa for a year during COVID because we got stuck. And then the remaining years in Kigali, Rwanda. Being able to, live in these different cultures and see, what works, what doesn't work, um, and, interactions with people, and still, having that, foot back in the States. Uh, that, um, like having these different perspectives, kind of led me, back into, um, sustainability full time. Like I said, I mean, last week when we were talking, uh, I mentioned that, I felt like my journey in this really started in residential construction because I was learning, about systems from the bottom, uh, as I was, ripping out these old houses. So the aspect uh, of being able to carry these things that you learn from, you know, over 10 years ago, and then, you kind of find yourself working into them again as you live cross-culturally. Uh, I ended up as the agricultural coordinator in Kigali, Rwanda before I started at uh, at the medical plaza. And that work and sustainability brought me, it was kind of like a full circle moment, because uh, had this experience, working in, you know, uh, in education, and it kind of got me into learning more about specifically sustainability in the built environment. So, once I, realized that I wanted to get back into it, that's when I got more into the LEED designations and the IWBI designations. So, uh, I don't know if that all made sense, but
Yeah.
in
No,
my head,
it's
it kind
awesome to hear how,
of,
yeah, how it all fit together for you.
yeah, yeah, kind of just full circled for me in that way. The being able to, you know, lean on science-based uh, evidence for in terms of how you approach the built environment. That was, big for me in terms of having a standard to go by, whether it be, material guidance or, energy, like the professional development was, a big support for me in terms of, really getting back into, full-scale sustainability.
Love that. Yeah, it seems like the professional, like the organizations, industry organizations can be helpful in both of those ways, right? Because you can use them for the networking, and then oftentimes they'll also have those credentials and the education portion that you can get to.
Yeah.
Is there any other stories you'd like to share or any other thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience?
Uh, Not that I can think of right now. This is my first podcast, so I don't know.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I don't have.
I think what you shared is great. I just wanted to make sure there was space if there was anything else you wanted to share.
Yeah, I think, yeah, in terms of uh something to share, I mean, for those who are uh, you know, really thinking about making moves in sustainability, or, you know, even being involved, on the perimeter. Like one of the best things that you can do is, just like be involved in terms of, networking or professional development, or um, just being a part of, behaviorally, I should say, in terms of, you know, being a part of the change that you want to see, you know. Uh, we can, even as, we work in sustainability for work, but, you have to live a part of that too. You have to like be the change that you want to see.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that would be my parting word.
I love that. Thank you so much, Frank. Really a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.